For those of you that have been with us all day, we welcome you back inside the Toronto Rock Athletic Center. This is the final game of the day here on the red turf, and it is between the Whitby Warriors and the Orangeville Northmen. If you've made it this far, congratulations. All 5 games now. 1 still to go on the other floor. They're just about to kick off Brampton and St. Catharines. If you're looking for that, it's on our main channel. I'm Matthew Carrick. Pat Gregoire with the call over on the other side, and our JVI Sports Network crew bringing you Ontario Junior Lacrosse League action from the Toronto Rock Athletic Center in Oakville. White jerseys for Whitby, working away for Brett Dobson, playing his second game of the day as they occupy the home bench. And here is Dyson Williams. Talked about him extensively in the first game. Orangeville dropping that close classic game between Orangeville and Mimico earlier in the afternoon. They're wearing their black uniforms, working right to left on your screen, occupying the visitors' bench. 10 on their shot clock. They'll work away from Chris Origlieri. Once again, his second game of the day as well. Colby Hanser the rebound. Quickly pushes it up the floor for Adam Poitras. Hanser again as the change comes. Graydon Hogg, the shot from Poitras. And right in front of the official, we're going to get a high sticking penalty here against Orangeville. Goaltender to the bench. Extra attacker on. Hidden ball play there between Josh Dawick and Williams. Williams kept. They were on to that as Hogg goes all the way across the floor. Here's Williams, a hard shot. And this is one of those rule changes if you've been with us all day. After the initial shot, you can keep picking up the rebound and keep shooting with that extra attacker to mimic the NLL rules. A bunch of rules that changed as a crew of NLL officials, Josh Hiltz, Roger Nurse, Mark Thompson, officiate this, our final game of the evening here on this channel. We'll be back at it at 11 o'clock tomorrow, though, so be sure you're still subscribed. No look pass there, Graydon Hogg. Bouncer through the legs, and an early power play marker here has Whitby up 1-0. Some good ball movement before that, and the no-look pass out of the corner. As Scott Reed crouches in, looked like a little bit of early movement there from Jamie Hunt for Orangeville at the draw, but Roger Nurse allows that as it is pulled out by Whitby. Keegan White getting it back up top, and they'll slow things down. Once again, Brock Haley with it. Alan Corkum, our third commentator. If you've watched any of the games from the other side, as Barnable sends it to the far side of the floor. He's done for the day, but he'll be back tomorrow. Our thanks to Alan Corkum. And Sean Wesley. Huge shot there. That goes off a helmet, it looked like, and can't tell whose it was because no one's reacting, but the shot clock continues to tick down, now at 15 here for Whitby. As Williams streaking off the bench. Poitras to the far side, too far for Luke Robinson, hit the official. Dyson Williams still trying to corral it, can't, and he'll just have to leave it in front of Elijah Edwards. Edwards for Devin Dunkerley now. Dunkerley puts the brakes. Leah Matthews. Matthews lost it in front of the Whitby bench as it's played back here for Millsap. Noah Millsap. Flip pass towards the crease for Devin Dunkerley. If you're following along the playlist from the OJLL website, the 9 o'clock game coming up after this, Burlington and KW. Burlington last played at 11 o'clock this morning, so an entire day off basically after a tie, a reverse decision. They thought they had the win. It's reversed into a tie. An important game for them as it is for KW, who lost. Their game is a big collision there in front of Brett Dobson, but enough to reset the shot clock. They'll hold things up here to get the ball back in the posts, and Dyson Williams was back on defense, so not that he can't hold his own back there, but maybe a break for Whitby. Not this time, though, as they're going to draw a penalty. It'll be a hold, I believe, as Tanner Buck will pull things out, and the goaltender Dobson. Origlieri. The shot off the shoulder of Dobson, and rushing to the ball was Owen Boyle, and that'll put a stop to proceedings here. 1-0 early on. 10:38 left to go in what is a 15-minute first period. All three of them will be 15-minute stop time periods. Again, to help out the legs a little bit, been almost 2 years for some of these players. And with the condensed schedule, decision to do that and not take an intermission. We'll break for about 3 minutes, between 3 and 5. As this ball moves quickly. Big hit there and into the boards, Jake Doolittle. Sprawling for it was an Orangeville forward and couldn't quite get there. Cascanet saving the play. Brody Cascanet. Back for Dylan Watson. Watson and Cascanet playing catch. Around the back there for Buck. His shot off a defender's stick. And now Millsap coming in looking for the loose ball. Buck towards the wall along with Liam Matthews, and a big tie up there. Player goes down, and we're going to get minor interference called against Orangeville, which will give the ball back to Whitby. Just over 5 minutes gone now in the period. Dyson Williams high steps his way in. And a big hit there on William Carnduff, as that ball never quite got all the way through. Edwards will slow up for Barkley. That's Jake Barkley. And you get back for Dylan Watson. Watson took a 5-minute penalty in that Mimico game as a low shot rises up under the bar. And Orangeville ties it up with another shot. That Watson play really changed things around as Mimico went on a run that Orangeville couldn't recover from. Not only getting the 2 on the power play rather quickly, but a couple others afterwards when Watson was still in the box, having to serve all 5. Face-off violation there against Whitby. Will be played back for Orangeville. Liam Matthews. Back up top for Millsap. There's Watson with a hard shot going just wide of Dobson, and contact in front of Whitby's bench. Trail official says it hit something, and now they're going to discuss with 8:47 on the clock. Watson behind his back. Now giving to Dunkerley. Dunkerley to the outside. Millsap took a heavy hit on his way to the crease and in the crease. And a couple Warriors standing over their prey after that contact all the way downfield and cutting in front and cutting off the pass was Owen Ryan. Ran for Buck. Here for Cascanet. And now Millsap. Trailer off the bench to the crease, to the net. The shot for Liam Matthews. And Dobson stands tall to make another save. Ryan Barnable wearing the captain's C this year. Gives off for Graydon Hogg. Hogg just missed the side post, and the over and back will be called here against Whitby. They all peeled to the bench if Orangeville got down. I was going to say they'd be allowed to pick that up. I didn't hear a whistle, but play, I guess, was stopped. As a high shot from Jake Barkley. Skips off the end boards. Shot clock ticks down now. 10 on it before it goes up in, saved there by Dobson. And Poitras quickly back in transition the other way. A halfway mark of the first period. Just a goal for either side as Williams to the far side. Bit of choke there on his shot as he was right in the face of the defenders. So the shot clock continues to tick down. Under 10 now. 5 seconds to shoot for Josh Dawick, who picks up the loose ball. Dawick all alone. Lofts it towards the cage, but wide. Cannot beat the 30-second clock. Brock Strong. Well, Noah Millsap here. Down in the corner. Buck was looking top corner, had it as well. And I'm not sure if that hit the shoulder of Dobson or just sailed wide, but either way, it creates transition here for Whitby. Scott Reed plays it back, ducking through coverage and shooting. Graydon Hogg. And Origlieri there to hang on. Origlieri to Jamie Hunt. Sends it up the floor for Dunkerley. Low shot for Watson off the foot. I believe that's Ryan Barnable, the Whitby captain, and again standing in with almost no knowledge that that got even close. Here's Watson. Into the corner, Buck cutting through the middle. Broken play as it's picked up then by Dunkerley. His shot bounces back into an offensive player's stick. And now a diving attempt here from Watson. Again, you can, another rule change, go into the crease to get that ball out, which he tried to do. And here's Poitras for Owen Boyle. Boyle up top, Brock Haley. Now into the corner trying to find a cutter. And under 5 in the shot clock. Need a rip here. Turn and fire. Did go backhand. I don't think it was enough to beat it. But it's played up here for Liam McGrath. McGrath running out with Carnduff. Jake Barkley. Flips to Liam Matthews. Now high pressure. Matthews trying to get away from the defense. 5 in the shot clock. Turning and firing and completely eaten up by Scott Reed, who heads off. And again, just like it was nothing. Think back to Whitby Warriors teams, some of those great Minto Cup runs that they made and Iroquois Trophy appearances and finals. It was gritty defense, and we're seeing it here. As Hogg takes the shot, and it's through the legs of Origlieri. And a defensive play on one end leading to a goal on the other. As another big shot block. And it's 2-1 now in favor of Whitby. 4:17 remaining here in the period. A reminder that on right now, Brampton Excelsiors, St. Catharines Athletics over on the blue turf. That game got underway at 7 p.m. And we'll be back underway tomorrow at 11. It'll be the Orangeville Northmen kicking things off against the Toronto Beaches, who picked up their first win. A chance where Orangeville will either be 1-1 or 0-2, fighting for their playoff lives almost. Again, only an 8-game schedule in the Ontario Junior Lacrosse League. Poitras up for Hogg. So you can't get yourself in too big a hole too early, especially for someone like Orangeville, who you would expect to be in that conversation along with Whitby and 2-0 on the day, Mimico Mountaineers. Whitby won their earlier game against the Peterborough Lakers. 8-4 was the final there, as Peterborough dropped that game and theirs against the Beaches. This loose ball pushed ahead, and Barnable trying to work along with Peyton Wallace, but now Barnable takes it himself, and big pile up in the crease along with Brody Cascanet, the normally offensive player. Buck now into the corner, 15 on the shot clock. Under 3 to play in the period. Working his way through, Buck takes the shot and just wide of Dobson in the net. And it'll be Brett Hansor. Kobe Hansor. As Poitras gets it in the corner. Low shot and rebound, and the player ran through the crease. As now Poitras, they're digging for it along with Liam McGrath. McGrath ends up with the loose ball for Jeremy Searle from center. Halfway through the shot clock now, as it's down on the carpet and in the corner. Trying to work it back out in front, under 10 to go, as it's turned over here by Whitby. Final 2 minutes of this opening period, as a couple cutback moves before taking it to the cage was Owen Boyle. Josh Hiltz nearly ended up in the Orangeville bench over on that far side. Liam Matthews. Matthews for Millsap. Millsap over the top, far side, and a huge shot there from Matthews. Doesn't get through. Another clean block, as now 6 seconds on the Orangeville shot clock. Millsap facing a double team, all tied up, and it's another steal late in a shot clock, as Kobe Hanser again gets up and over center. Stifling defense on both sides of the ball, as Williams and Dawick try the hidden ball play. Now Dawick trying it with Hogg. He kept the entire time, as it now works its way back to Williams. Far side again, Robinson. Shot there, save. Origlieri. Man, we've seen some good goaltending today. Here's Sean Wesley. Hogg finds a cutter back door, trying to stuff it through the feet, and stepped in the crease as he went through. Final 30 seconds here. Orangeville has not and will not, it looks like, call timeout, as they play on with Watson coming up over center, outside. Liam Smith, shot comes from the middle. High hit there, and Watson stole the ball and shot in the same motion. And it'll be an illegal cross check. As Scott Reed fell, and then took the stick into the face mask. So 10 seconds left on the board. And a 2-1 score. Whitby will go to their power play. It'll start with Dyson Williams. Working behind the cage to Wesley. Back for Williams. A low shot. Doesn't get all the way through, and a couple hacks is all that they have time for from Owen Rand. After one, Whitby Warriors lead the Orangeville Northmen by a score of 2-1. We'll be right back.
But at different places, sometimes places you don't expect. And in our history, the feather has appeared. And to me, the feather has appeared here.
When we first started the school, we wanted to build something special, and that's what's brought us here to this campus. We feel like this is a special place. There's 134 acres of pristine nature, and it's going to be a place where our student athletes can really explore the boundaries of their potential. And we don't want it to feel like school. We want it to feel like home in their own community.
For the last 13 years, we've worked really hard to build a program and environment for dedicated student athletes to thrive and to reach their potential. We're ready for that next step. And that next step is to be on a campus that enhances that environment and enhances that culture. The first day I stepped foot on this property, I knew that it was the right fit and the perfect environment for our student athletes to reach their potential.
We have student athletes that come from all different backgrounds and all different places from around the world, and immediately as they come through the gates here individually, they're going to feel at home here. Being in a serene environment like that, they can focus on making good choices and making decisions that get them closer to their goals.
There's great power and advantage for a student athlete to have everything on one campus, and having a private school education with individual attention to a robust strength and conditioning program, to a unique athletic experience, and one that really will allow a student athlete to explore the boundaries of their potential.
It's not just a school, it will be a home for all of our student athletes and staff. We have custom academic building, we have an on-site cafeteria, we have residence buildings, and there's a lot of power and strength in having everything in-house and on-site and accessible to our student athletes at all times.
Our philosophy at the Hill Academy is to have a balanced experience, and we feel like this campus really gives our students the space to try to achieve that balance and have opportunities to detach from their rigorous academic and athletic schedule. It can be demanding, it can be stressful, and we want our students to have space, to reflect on their own, to have their own space, to share those in-between times with their fellow classmates and form, deep, meaningful, impactful relationships. And that's a big part of this experience at the Hill.
This is a really significant development for the Hill Academy. I reflect with profound gratitude for all the families, Hill alumni, student athletes, and staff that have really laid the foundation for where we are today. I also look forward with excitement, at all the possibilities for our present and future student athletes at a location such.
Back here on the red turf at the Toronto Rock Athletic Center for our final game of the day, the first day of what's going to be 4, 2 here this weekend and 2 next weekend of the Ontario Junior Lacrosse League season. We appreciate all of the comments that have come in throughout the day on YouTube and Twitter and Facebook. At JVI Video is where you can do that. I am personally at Lacrosse Boss. Origlieri down to our left. Plays catch now with Brett Dobson, the goaltender for Whitby. You get a good look at both of them. They've now switched ends. 2-1 is the score after our first period. And 1 minute remaining on the power play here for the Whitby Warriors. Up top, Wesley. Gets it from Williams. Wesley fakes to Williams, takes the shot back, and that's off a stick in front. 5 of the shot clock now as they turn and fire. Brock Haley, Origlieri the save, and he'll work it out of the crease. Up the near boards now. 30 seconds remaining here in the power play. Orangeville trying to kill off as much as they can with Tanner Buck. Cascanet. Keeping it out wide. Gets a pick and a delayed penalty called as an interference penalty. Took a man down in front of the crease. Today's OJLL broadcasts have been proudly brought to you by the Dairy Farmers of Ontario, who invite you to hashtag #MilkUp. (3-2) after 1 on the other floor. Brampton leading St. Catharines. As Buck sending it up top for Watson. Back to the far side. Shot comes from Cascanet, but it was slowed down, surprise, surprise, by a stick in the lane. If you're a fan of defense, this is the game for you. As I hear the horn behind me, if you're wanting to tune into that game over on our main JVI channel. Again, between St. Catharines and Brampton. Both winners in their games previously today, if I remember correctly. As Buck will walk this in over the line. Nearing a minute left in the Orangeville power play, as they started the period a man short. Buck shoots through a crowd and off the post. This one's going to hit off the boards. No over and back, as that did, again, hit the iron in behind Brett Dobson. Buck and Watson now. Far side, Cascanet, no shot for him. Watson behind his back for Buck off the shoulder of Dobson. Picked up by Millsap. And a fresh 30 seconds. That's basically the time they've got left in the penalty, as this is fired off the back glass. And that did not hit the net, so it is an over and back this time. And now Whitby can take the final 20 seconds off of this penalty. Looks like that's what Dyson Williams wants to do. Keeping it outside in the stick of Graydon Hogg. He'll bounce it back for Josh Dawick. Dawick tried to shoot over a trio of players, and it hit one of them and was stopped by Origlieri. Racing in the quick transition shot from Cohen Jennings. And now a diving stop from Jake Barkley to keep the play alive. It's going to be picked up by Devin Dunkerley far side. And Orangeville getting into the corner. Liam Smith had to deal with the defender and the official. As this shot clock is down about halfway, and a bouncer from well outside from Jake Barkley just as the penalty had expired. And we've got ourselves a tie game. It took a while to get there. But Orangeville finally scoring their second. And knotting this game up at 2. .45 remaining here in the second period. A reminder that all of these games will be archived for later viewing as well. If you miss one or want to go see your favorite or want to share with your friends, please do so. Quick shot off the face-off. Graydon Hogg scores and pays for it, and then gets back in the face of the Orangeville player that knocked him on his pants. And we're going to have some words after the fact. As Liam McGrath walked in, it was Jamie Hunt lowering the boom, and Hogg had something to say to him. And then McGrath stepping in. But just as quick as Orangeville ties it up, Whitby retakes the lead, 3-2. Whitby bench getting an explanation here. You can see it just under the score bug at the top of your screen there. Josh Hiltz in conversation with Sean Williams. Graydon Hogg saying, hey, coach, it's a good, man. Let's just play the game as Brett Dobson makes his way back into the cage. I love me a good face-off battle. Another one there between Reed and Jamie Hunt. Hunt went head-to-head with Ryan Haig from Mimico earlier today. All afternoon, those two putting on a show at the dot if you're a fan of that side of the game. Dawick from the restraining line. Behind his back. Plays it here for Haley towards the crease. And Haley going after it again after the reset. But Jamie Hunt is there to pick up the loose ball. Immediately lost it. Back for Haley, though. And Haley will break a double team as well. Oh! Josh Dawick, with his back to the cage, turns and fires over the shoulder. That might be the best goal you'll see today. Looked like a nothing play, and over the shoulder with his back to the cage. What are you supposed to do there? 2-goal lead for Whitby thanks to Josh Dawick. A pretty goal. Him and Dyson Williams had chemistry working in that first game against Peterborough. Wallace winning the faceoff. Quick change the other way. Hogg trying to keep this quick run coming. As a hidden ball play between Hogg and Luke Robinson. It was Hogg that had it all the way. Now gives for Williams his hard shot off the end boards for Wesley now. Wesley with it. Shoots on the run. And Riglieri there to corral that loose ball as well. Jeremy Searle. Out to the outside for Liam McGrath. There's Cascanet. Now Millsap. His shot through traffic. It was blocked. And I believe it was Adam Poitras that blocked it and then turned it into a transition opportunity. And now it looks like he's feeling the effects of the block shot as he heads to the bench. But before that, had his sights set on a transition goal. Someone's lost, it looks like a slash guard, on that far side, right about there where Cascanet shoots from and puts it in behind Dobson. Meanwhile, Tanner Buck a bit slow to get up. But if you thought Orangeville was going to go away, you haven't been paying attention over the last, 30, 40 years or so. Staple of their junior programs over the years. Led by hard-nosed defense, they always seem to have good goaltending. Whitby making it close there with a late change. As now it's whistled in, picked up cleanly by Reed. Reed on the run. Reed all by himself. The shot there forces Riglieri to his knees. And the ball remains underneath them. Just over 8 minutes remaining here in the period. 4-3 in what's been an exciting second period. After the defense ran the floor in the first. Barnable back across for a bounce shot from Darren Elliott. And again, Origlieri there to make the save. Jake Barkley. Far side skip shot low from Liam Smith. Save from Dobson. Quick restart off the bench. Williams puts it in behind Origlieri. And Whitby has restored that 2-goal advantage. Dobson, the quick restart, got it to Keegan White, who found Williams streaking off the bench. And halfway through this second period, it's a 2-goal lead once again for the Whitby Warriors. Both draw men took off from the dot, neither of them with it, but it was Reed going after that loose ball. Back for Will Carndiff. Carndiff, now Dawick. Hidden ball play here. Hogg had it, passes to Carndiff. Dawick circling the net, it's just off the top of his stick. And rolls out for Liam McGrath. McGrath still with it as he comes all the way down in transition. Some huge individual battles in the middle of this pile here, as Tanner Buck will swim move and then shot off the right arm of Dobson, enough to reset the shot clock. And everybody in the middle will go head-to-head one more time. It's Devin Dunkerley doing a lot of the mixing up, as now he sets a big pick. That Cascanet works around, and that's Dunkerley on the crease. Getting hit by Adam Cromer, they say, from behind. Jake Barkley over the top. He gives for Cascanet. A couple big head fakes. And now played back. Ducking for cover there was Liam Matthews, who got filled in. Got up a bit slowly, but meanwhile Dobson hanging on to a shot. 6 minutes left in our second period. Nearly a 10-shot advantage now for Whitby. And they have controlled, it seems, possession. Pardon me, Orangeville has seemed to control possession as the longer possessions, just the shots not finding their way through. There it is, far side. There for Watson in front, diving attempt. And Liam Smith lost his stick as he went somersaulting through the crease, but the save was already made. Here's Owen Boyle, one-on-one. And one too many moves for Boyle, who's down to 15 on his shot clock, and not really a lot of offensive help out there. Josh Dawick. Delayed penalty as Dobson on the bench with 5 seconds left to play. Williams turns and fires off the end boards. And the shot clock will sound, and it'll be a slashing call here coming up. I believe to Orangeville. Liam McGrath in the penalty box as Origlieri is called for a water break. Him and Dobson will go for a drink. Under 5 minutes to play here in our second period. About halfway through the second on the other floor. 3-2 in favor of Brampton as they face the St. Catharines Athletics. Remember that one on the main JVI Sports Network channel. You can search for the channel, or you can search OJLL. You'll see all the games. including a full playlist over on the main channel. Be sure you subscribe to both. And if you turn your notifications on, you'll get a notification every time either channel goes live throughout the weekend. About to wrap up 11 games on the day as we cap it off with a 9 p.m. face-off on the other floor between Burlington and Kitchener-Waterloo. You heard from Pat Gregoire earlier. You'll hear from him now if you're watching that Brampton game. Him and I will join forces for our final game of the night. There's Dawick for Williams, down to the crease for Hogg. He turned and fired, but it was over top of the cage late in the shot clock. 8 seconds to get over half, and Orangeville's got to hurry. Heads up in the skybox here. And look out, what on earth caused this? As gloves and helmets are down, we're going to get ourselves a scrap. Jamie Hunt for Orangeville, firing rights. 5'10", 195, and I believe it's Adam Poitras, 6'2", 185 for Whitby as they tie up in the corner. Someone earlier today was asking for fights in the chat. How about that? Sounds like the benches enjoyed it. As it comes with an automatic shower, the 5 in a game for fighting here in the Ontario Junior Lacrosse League. Poitras and Jamie Hunt. Again, the two combatants there, Poitras for Whitby and Hunt for Orangeville. And we've seen Hunt at the face-off dot a lot here today, so it'll be interesting on the next draw. I believe it will be Owen Rand, who took a number of draws, especially in that Mimico game. I think we saw him earlier in this one as well, a couple face-offs. But the main draw man, or at least it has been in this game, now gone for Orangeville. That coming with 1:18 left in the initial penalty. The slashing call to Liam McGrath, who's also in the box, in what is a 5-3 lead here for Whitby with 4 minutes left in the second. Williams. Back up top, Wesley. Williams shoots straight down the pipe, and an arm save made by Origlieri. Wesley and Williams. Round his back into the corner for Hogg. Wesley. Hogg into the middle, back up top for Brock Haley, as now Haley looks for this loose ball, although Jeremy Searle all over him. Eventually picked up by Elijah Edwards, who's trying to spin away from pressure. Luke Robinson. Now Noah Millsap. Out to the far side, it works back for Tanner Buck. Buck cutting his way back towards the half boards. Now the restraining line, Buck with a man all over him. It's Doolittle, shakes coverage and shoots low on Dobson, who will hang on for the whistle. 5 seconds left now in the penalty. As that's done, and under 3 to go in the period, in a 5-3 2-goal lead for Whitby. Dawick for Haley. Haley all the way around the net now. Into the stick of Hogg. They've got Williams in the middle. Can't find him. And the shot clock down to 5 seconds now. Here's Haley just turning and firing. He wants to get off the floor. And no time for a quick shot there. Laid back for Owen Rand. Rand down low. Liam Matthews. will be pushed outside. Tries to work around a pick there from Watson. Dylan Watson a shot. Dobson makes the save. 2-minute warning here in the second period. As a big slash attempt there from Watson. Goes wide of Owen Boyle, and loose ball. Robinson was kind of caught in no man's land to come back on D or pick up the loose ball. He elects to do the former, not the latter. And now Watson to the far side. Millsap collides there with Will Carndiff. Quick pass back to the near side, and Dobson just can't get across in time to match the Jake Barkley shot. And late in the period, Orangeville closes within one. Stop me if you've heard that before. Always seems to be that way for the Orangeville Northmen. A late goal to close the gap in a period, especially historically. And relatively low scoring, close games is their MO. Loose ball picked up there, and Origlieri kind of awkwardly to his left actually stumbled. But the loose ball will be picked up and worked out by Jaden Chapiara. Up for Doolittle now. Williams looks it from the corner. Not sure how he got it on target, looking for Dawick. But somehow he caught it, and he shot on net just enough to reset the shot clock. Falling Haley trying to push it forward. And Liam Perro starts the counterattack with 30 seconds left here in the period. Buck for Watson. For Millsap up top. Big tie up in front. It's Dunkley again as Dobson sprawls on the line but keeps the ball in front of him. 18 seconds left, and I think Whitby's trying to call timeout, and they will now get it with 14.8 left in the period. Orangeville has never led this game. They've been trying to come from behind the entire time. Find themselves down by one again, but every time they've got it within one, seems like Whitby's been able to bring it back out again to lead by 2. A reminder that today's OJLL broadcasts are brought to you by the Dairy Farmers of Ontario, who reminds you to hashtag milk up. Our thanks to them, and we heard from the Hill Academy as well, and everybody else who's helped us out, helped put these games on, including the Toronto Rock Athletic Center. No general admission access, unfortunately. There are fans here. Each player was allowed 2 guests per game, and they can only stay for that game entitled. Pre-screening ahead of time and mandatory masks while in the building, helping us stay safe through this weekend and the remainder of the abbreviated OJLL season. Shot block there breaks up the power play, and it will end 5-4 after 2 periods here between Whitby and Orangeville. Another tight game between these 2 clubs, as you might expect. We'll be back to the Toronto Rock Athletic Center after a brief timeout to put a cap on our day here from the red turf as you watch Ontario Junior Lacrosse League action on the JVI Sports Network. we head into the final period. If you've been with us all day, we thank you so much for doing that. If not, well, man, oh man, you've missed some action and you got some work to do. Go back into the playlist and check out all the games from here on the red turf at the Toronto Rock Athletic Center. I believe this is the first major event, I could be wrong, for the red turf. Since the building was open, this was a concrete floor. To answer the question in the chat, Jamie Hunt for Orangeville and Adam Poitras had a scrap in that second period. They are both done for the evening. And again, a good opportunity to remind you that these games are all archived as well. If you missed something and want to go back and watch it, you can do that at any time following the game. We're 5-on-5, and we're back to the original floor configuration we started with Orangeville going right to left away from Chris Origlieri. Here's Cascanet down into the corner. That was Millsap, who was looking for buck cutting. Errant pass there, 5 in the shot clock. And loose ball picked up by Jake Doolittle, who brings it up over center. Brock Haley, believe still has it after a couple hidden ball plays. Yes, he does. He gives to Graydon Hogg now. And for Dyson Williams. Williams flipping it back, looking for Hogg. Here's a shot, and it's wide of the net late in the shot clock. And they do rule that it did just beat the shot clock. Second one well wide of the mark, however, as Hogg is going to slow things down. A long way from home here offensively in the third period. But now Williams, and yeah, that's going to be a moving pick all day as Hogg straight over the top of Elijah Edwards. As we close in on 2 minutes gone here in our third period. And again, final period for this channel and this turf for the day. So we thank all of you for hanging out, but don't go anywhere. Look up the main JVI YouTube channel for our 9 p.m. matchup. Right now you can see Brampton and St. Catharines. Coming up, Burlington and KW. And if you happen to be watching this in the archives, well, go check out those and the rest of our games as well. A playlist that'll be linked from OntarioJuniorLacrosse.com. Ball to the outside here from Orangeville. Liam Matthews. Shot on net and a goal. And how about a tie game with 12:30 to play? Here's Wallace at the dot. Peyton Wallace for Whitby. And Jake Barkley. Again, Hunt. Jamie Hunt, that is, done for the evening. After that scrap, was taking the majority of draws for the Orangeville Northmen. As Williams quickly pokes it towards the net, reset the shot clock, tried to do it a second time, and the clock did reset, so he may have got there. Dawick, that one will be on target as well, as Williams up into the face of the defender, and they're still jawing back and forth. And as Williams and Noah Longshore finally go their separate ways. Had a little bit of spice to this game too to finish off the evening. Racing out Liam Smith. Out to the outside. Dylan Watson. All the way up top, and a long shot from Smith goes off the shoulder of Dobson before going up out of play. Fresh 30 seconds here for Orangeville. 3:45 gone in the period as Watson gets back, taken backwards all the way towards and into the crease. Watson still on top of his man, and he turned and had a shot for the defender on the ground, Scott Reed. Watson definitely headed off here. And remember back to that Mimico game, him and Matthew Sykes got into it, and that was the unraveling for Orangeville. But we're going to get offsetting penalties here, and maybe a lucky break for Orangeville. Watson for roughing, and Reed will go for holding. Can't really argue with either of those, as Reed sat on him for an extra about 10 seconds or so. Here's Williams. Seems like a lot of room for him and Dawick to work with here, if they so choose. Dawick not on the floor at the moment, however, as Haley is, though. Bouncer there. Williams picks it up, shovels it backhand towards the cage. Rebound picked up by Luke Robinson, and his shot goes wide. Here's Origlieri all the way down the floor. Breakaway opportunity, and diving through the crease. And a crease violation for Owen Rand. Kobe Hanser. Dawick will leave it on the turf in a bit of a modified hidden ball play. Orangeville well aware of that, so they'll pass it to Hogg. 10 on the shot clock. Back for Dawick, his shot. Blocked, and it goes up and out of play off the stick of Noah Longshore. Longshore, Wesley. Dawick off the end boards. This one's going to bounce well over and back. 5-3 lead, says Pat Gregoire, for St. Catharines. Headed to the third over on our other floor. As we're tied at 5 here. How about a couple barn burners to finish our night? Games 8 and 9 and 10 rather, excuse me. Before we cap it off at 9 p.m. back on the main turf with Burlington Chiefs, Kitchener-Waterloo Braves. Williams chases it down over the back. Looked like he was just going to dump it into the corner, but it turns into a scoring opportunity from Owen Boyle. And all the way up, oh, look out, by Williams. Bruce Codd thought it was over and back. Roger Nurse disagrees. Williams to the cage, and Origlieri was there, and Haley just couldn't come up with it clean. A loose ball here being chased down. Looked like we got a reset and picked up by Whitby, but then, Kobe Hanser taken down in front of his own bench. So with 8.5 to go in a 5-5 tie, Hogg will bring it back in. Tried to shoot through Edwards, and now Edwards lowers the shoulder, runs away from Hogg. Brings it across the timeline, and he'll get it back looking for Millsap. He couldn't hang on. Picks it up for a second time clean, though. Pass in the corner, Liam Matthews. Matthews, Cascanet, 5 in the shot clock. Cascanet, the shot, and it's off the shoulder and up out of play. Liam Matthews. From the corner now, Tanner Buck and Noah Millsap. Looking to the outside for Cascanet. Reaching for it there was Dobson. But Tanner Buck turns and fires. Dobson there. And rebound picked up, William Cardiff. Will run it up and stop at the restraining line. Williams following him at the halfway mark here of the period. 36-30, the shots have almost evened out. What a save, Origlieri. As Dawick was on the far side for the quick stick. And Chris Origlieri all the way across to his right. Hands are a big part of the Whitby defense. Going for a walk by the trainer. Over on the Whitby bench as meanwhile a shot by a man flying through the crease for Orangeville will give them their first lead of the game, 6-5. Still trying to catch the number that may have been Tanner Buck. Who then gets a crash course in flight school from Bruce God. (6-5) with 6:49 to go. Orangeville definitely needs to win more than Whitby, but Whitby would love to finish the day tied 2-0 atop the East Division standings along with the Mimico Mountaineers. Coming in hot and heavy after that loose ball was Liam McGrath. And that's triggers the loose ball interference. Brock Haley. Back now for Hogg and Williams. Up top, Dawick rips a shot off the arm of Origlieri. Played back for Williams. 6 minutes left to play, period number 3. As cutting down the far side, Brock Haley couldn't come up with the pass cleanly. And now Owen Rand will bring it out past center. Nearly juked out Ryan Barnable. But Dunkerley brings it into the attacking zone. Up for Smith. His shot, Dobson the save. Loose ball rebound up for grabs as a couple Orangeville players in there digging for it. Eventually it rolls free into the safety of the crease of Dobson, who does pick it up. Dobson out into the corner. Look at the ball movement here from Whitby. And all alone was Robinson, but couldn't come down clean. Otherwise, he literally had the entire offensive zone to himself and the goaltender. That shot from Boyle skips past Origlieri, but wide of the mark. Shot clock did reset, though, so he must have got a piece of it. As here's Boyle again. Williams sets the pick in front. Tried to turn it into a pick and roll, but too far was the pass in front of Williams. Heads up in the stands as this one well over the glass and out of play. 4:41 remaining in regulation time. I don't think we've had an overtime game yet today. Normally 10 minutes of full period. As Dawick will be kept outside. Far side, Haley and Wesley. Neither of them can come up with the rebound. So it's Liam Perro off to the races. Perro gives off for Castanet. Castanet gets away from a double team. Castanet finds a man in the middle who got buried. Picked up, though, by Millsap. And, ducking out of the way, Josh Hiltz. That may have hit his shoulder and gone up out of play. He's holding his shoulder and had to ask Mark Thompson for confirmation on who that went off of. We're going to get a holding call here, I believe, as Reed played the part of boat anchor on the back of Devin Dunkerley. Had the stick caught underneath of him and would not let go. He ended up getting dragged into the offensive zone. There are some tired bodies down there. Again, second game of the day for both of these players. Will need to get home, get hydrated. It's going to be a lot of pasta eaten tonight, I think, as they'll come back and do it again for 2 more games tomorrow. Orangeville gets the first one of the day against the Peaches, and then they draw Peterborough. Whitby against Mimico and the Toronto Beaches as well. So be sure to check out JVI Sports Network for all of those games. Subscribe to this channel. Check out our main channel as well. Those games will be scheduled for the blue pad. They were scheduled for blue today but got moved, so we'll see what happens tomorrow. Ball bounces back for Liam Stadnick. If you're subscribed to both channels, if your notifications are on, you won't miss it either way. But we're about 3 minutes, barring extra time, away from putting a cap on the day here on this pad. Our thanks for all of you for joining us, as it's up there for Cascanet. Tried a desperation attempt to shovel it towards the net, and just not there. 2.5 minutes left here in period number 3. Up to 40 shots now for Whitby. And 45 seconds left for them to kill off this penalty. 15 seconds in the shot clock. Hogg, far side. Wesley got it near side for Boyle. His shot resets the clock. And now Hogg will bring it back towards the fan. Hogg, whoa, a skipper there. Did it get through? Yes, it did. And Hogg shaking his head, yes, because indeed we are tied once again. Hogg, a couple stutter steps, and looked like Origlieri got a piece of it. 2 minutes and 3 seconds left, and did penalty time come off the clock there? 23 seconds remaining in the penalty to Whitby. Scott Reed, as we're tied up 6-6. They're going to say that Wallace moved early, giving it to Orangeville. And heads up there is the pass not received, but a big hit was. Noah Millsap. Over to the far side, Jake Barkley. Barkley, Matthews in the corner for Buck. Back up top. Now here's a shot from Barkley, and the lead goes right back to Orangeville. One second on the clock left in that power play, and 1:41 remaining in regulation, and it's a 1-goal lead for the Orangeville Northmen. Jake Barkley against Reed now. Fresh out of the penalty box is Reed, and a swim move. It's picked up here by Owen Rand. Rand passing back for McGrath. Hands team is out here for sure in the final 90 seconds of the game for the Orangeville Northmen. Dunkerley to the far side. High stepping is Buck. Buck for Watson. Played back near side. Dunkerley couldn't hang on to it late in the clock though, and it will be picked up here by Peyton Wallace. We keep our eye on Dobson. And Whitby calls timeout, I believe, as Wallace the ball carrier, taken into the front door of Orangeville's bench. Minute and 2 left. Somebody's called timeout here. I thought I heard timeout White. Final reminder that today's OJLL broadcasts were proudly brought to you by the Dairy Farmers of Ontario, who remind you to hashtag milk up. Wonder how much of that stuff will be consumed this evening. Get some chocolate milk and refresh. And get ready for tomorrow. Again, at 11 a.m., Orangeville Northmen back at it. Whitby draws the 1 p.m. game. Final minute of play now as Whitby with the net empty. Williams all alone in front. His shot goes wide, although bounces all the way right back. Ryan Barnable, Williams, cross seam, comes all the way back up top, looking for the loose ball. Rebound as it comes off the end boards. Who'll get there first? The answer was Haley, but couldn't pick up. It's in the stick of Liam McGrath, though. And Dobson was screaming out the door. And speaking of screaming, that's what Bruce Codd does to ensure he gets his time out. With McGrath down the floor and no empty net. 31.3 left here in regulation, and an Orangeville Northmen 1-goal lead. Man, oh man, what is this going to do to the standings? Toronto Beach is already sitting 1-1. If it stays like this, both Orangeville and Whitby will be 1-1, making both those games tomorrow for Orangeville at 1 against Beaches and Whitby at 5 against Beaches. Incredibly important. Reminder, an 8-game season, as we'll be back here with 22 more games next weekend. You can catch them all at the JVI Sports Network. If you're not already following, at JVI Video or at the OJLL, you should probably get on that because you're doing it wrong. Looked like Dobson was headed out of the cage with 24 seconds left in the shot clock. There will be 7 here if Whitby used their timeout, so they won't be able to put a play together. It's not McGrath, it's Watson coming out. And how about Dobson coming out of the crease? And then the stiff arm to put Watson down from Dobson. Gets the call. Over to the far side, 18 seconds to go. Shot clock turned off. Tanner Buck all by himself gets drilled into the boards. Picked up though, not cleanly by Dawick. Loose ball up for grabs. Who's gonna get there? Whitby, 5 seconds left. And it pops out of the stick of Barnable, picked up by Orangeville, and they will finish with the victory. 7-6 Orangeville. We got 3 teams here in the East tied 1 game apiece after day number 1 of competition. Set your reminders for tomorrow, folks, because we got some incredible games coming up in this division. It starts, as we said, at 11 a.m. Orangeville and Toronto. At 1 p.m., Whitby and Mimico. Peterborough Orangeville follows that at 3. At 5, Whitby and Toronto. And finally at 7, Mimico and the Peterborough Lakers. How about 5 games on this floor right here today? For those of you that have stuck with us the entire way, we definitely appreciate you. That's your final. Orangeville 7 and Whitby 6. And I believe we got a final score from the other side. Brampton Six Nations. Ontario JuniorLacrosse.com is where you can find all your stats and updates. On behalf of our JVI Sports Network crew and the OJLL, I'm Matthew Carrick. Thanks for tuning in with us today. Be sure to flip over to the other channel. 8:17 local time. We'll be back at 9 p.m. Pat Gregoire and myself to call Burlington Chiefs KW to cap off an incredible first day of lacrosse. Good night, everyone.